Hey gang, this is Andy over at Falco K9 Academy. Welcome to a very snowy Brea, California, where it is snowing and it's like 80 degrees outside. I'm using Be Live, and they allow us to use these frames for the holidays. So I wanted to wish you all a great holiday. I'm not sure if I'm going to be coming on much in the next couple days, considering I got a lot to do. I have most of my shopping done, but I'm going to get some more done. Today's a very special show that I'm very happy to be having right now. I'm going to be bringing on a fairly new friend. Her name is Cameron Thompson, and she is a fantastic trainer. She's also owns a rescue, which we're going to talk about in just a few minutes. Because of this show, because we're going to be making some announcement in the show, I'm going to be offering a coupon for $5 off one of our training programs. But I'm going to make you stick around a little bit longer before I give that to you. But you can give this program. It's a training program for anybody that has a dog that you can give as a gift if you like, and it will be available until January 1st. The coupon will be available and useful until January 1st. And so what else is happening? Been traveling a lot as usual. That's why I haven't had a show in a while. Earlier this week, I was busy in San Diego, where I was able to help other people write a book, but I was able to take Falco, Walking with God and a Dog, to #1 bestseller status. So thank you to all of you who bought the book. It's because of you that I was able to get it to be a #1 bestseller, and actually an international bestseller. And I just really appreciate you guys getting the book. So go ahead and read it. If you want the printed version, because what you purchased for 99 cents is the Kindle version. If you want the printed version, I'm more than happy to give you the link so that you can get that particular copy. And if we're anywhere, I'm happy to sign it for you for free. So don't worry about that. Happy to do that. And I can see Cameron down here below. She's ready to go. And what we're going to do, I'm going to bring Cameron on, and we're going to talk to Cameron here and talk about what she's doing both on the training side of things and what she's doing on the rescue side of things. So it's counting down 3, 2, 1. And Cameron will be joining us. Hey, Cameron.
Hey, hello. I feel like I need to dismount. You literally get a little ping when you're the guest on the other side, and counting you down to let you know that you're live. So fantastic to be here. Thank you. This is so cool. I was socialing as you were doing your intro so I could share the broadcast out to some of our business pages and make sure our community knows, come hang out with us here and be a part of our chat today.
You know, we're going to talk about this a little bit later on, but there's not a lot of dog trainers who know what it was you were just talking about what the importance of actually coming on stuff like this. Now, my show may not be the most important show on the planet. However, we do have people watching, and they do kind of follow us and that kind of thing. But it's really important for any business to understand the power of social media, and hearing that you were sharing it and making sure when people see it is important, regardless if you're just on my show or any other show. With farther
even for like a super newbie, share it with your own friend community and your family, because you inevitably know somebody who has a dog or who's having a problem with their dog, or knows somebody who's having a problem with their dog. And, not being afraid to put yourself out there and share that you're being featured or you're networking and connecting with somebody else is really, really important part of the hustle. I totally agree.
Very, very good. Very good. I'm going to stop making it snow. I have that power.
I moved away from the snow.
Not many people know that I have the power to make it stop snowing. So here we go. And now, voila, it's no longer snowing, and I took away the little Christmas theme there. It's fine for a while, but it gets irritating after a while. So Cameron, tell us about, oops, I just did something that I didn't mean to do. I put your name up there twice. But that's your Cameron Thompson, and that's with an E, not an O. Right. Yes. That's really important to remember.
Yes.
And let's first talk about your dog training business, Home2K9. And I'm going to put the link in this chat while you're talking, but tell us a little bit about yourself and about your dog training business.
Thanks. So I've been training for a lot of years now, but I actually started doing it within the realm of rescue work because I was fostering a lot of dogs for different organizations that were the heavy behavioral cases that people were struggling to place out of their entities, or struggling even to find fosters that were comfortable handling these dogs. So my training journey overlapped my first career in the medical industry, where I really do believe that I was groomed to become an entrepreneur, and also just sort of, validated that I needed to be in this world of running my own companies and being creative in my process of my career, because my prior jobs always had a ceiling. I would always be climbing and reaching these limitations that drove me crazy. So while I was doing that work, I was slowly moving myself into dog training and dog rescue by taking these cases on the side and doing a lot of training work and coaching people in the evening times. I was a facilitator for foster families. I trained foster families and coordinated adoptions for a long time. So naturally, as you know, the years went on and I started my dog training business to pay the bills, right? Which everybody makes this assumption that rescue can't do that, which I would love to dispel. One of these days, we'll have to get into more of that kind of stuff in our conversations. But because I think a lot of dog walkers think it's like kind of, you don't make that much money. It's just you should love it and do it for fun, right? And the reality is all of these different concepts of business are limitless in their potential to grow and to evolve into really, you know, lucrative opportunities to serve more people. It's just how you look at it. So anyway, started training dogs and got that to where it was a solid organization and had a team, and then launched my nonprofit and began to do the work that I really, really believe in, which is more about educating people how to keep their dogs and stopping dogs from becoming unwanted and filling our shelters and rescues, rather than trying to pull a lot of dogs out of shelters or to try to, you know, make more money for rescue organizations, or to try to convince more people to adopt. My main mission in my rescue work and in my training company is to help people to understand how to keep their dog in their home and to not have to get rid of it in the first place. So I really believe that's at the core of us changing the tides here in terms of how many unwanted dogs we have. And it's a reason why we do a lot of free training support in the community locally here through our rescue. It's good stuff.
That's why I like you, is because it's about not just having a dog in your backyard. Right? It's about a relationship with the dog. It's how to keep the dog. It's how to maintain a dog that is a good community member, so that you can take them out for walks and that kind of stuff. And so many things are misunderstood about problematic dogs that, you know, quite honestly, some of the problems are mostly caused by either the owners that they're with currently or have been in the past. And if we could just understand how to make that, you know, how to identify it as a trainer, and then how to give the change to the human being to make that dog become a more, you know,
better citizen. Yeah.
A better citizen. Yeah. There's so many words that go through my head. Not all of them I can say out loud.
And to fulfill more, right? I mean, that's ultimately what it is, because it's a relationship. And like many relationships, you know, the problems start to surface when our expectations are unmet, when we haven't communicated them in the first place, or when they can't be met or fulfilled. So a lot of times I think what you and I do in our work, both in the dog owner and the dog trainer realm, is really to help align expectations and to help people to understand what is fair and reasonable in, you know, the relationship and dynamic, whether it's your dog or your business. And ironically, there are many correlations. You know, just the other night we were talking about this, where it was like, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So when you're motivated to resolve an issue with your dog, you have the potential, the opportunity to understand some things on a much bigger picture scale about how you do your life that is really, really transformative if you choose for it to be. So we talk a lot about the relationship. We talk a lot with people about, like, is it really fair and reasonable that this being that is not the same species as you is totally fulfilled and operates, you know, perfectly in all these circumstances when you haven't put in to their understanding of those things, or you haven't shown up and created fulfillment on the level that they need. So finding those expectations and matching and balancing that stuff out. And then ultimately, it's actually really easy to resolve a lot of these behavior problems. They don't have to be things you live with if you adjust what it is that you think life with your dog should look like. So, puzzles.
One thing that I might be getting into the area of more of what we're going to talk about later, because I want to talk about training trainers a little bit later on. But sorry, I got a fly. I got a fly attacking me. Do you have any training techniques for flies?
I had a spider on my screen in my last live stream. So we're Jumanjiing here on some level. I don't know.
It just ran right into my eyeball. It must be.
It's a test. So anyway, just roll with it. You're a professional.
He's attacking me. Sometimes the hardest thing to balance, and because I understand, and I'm sure you feel this way too, but I'm going to ask you that it's the human beings that write the check, right? And so we have to kind of walk this line every so often, because I don't like to be a blamer. I grew up as a dog trainer, as a dog handler in the police dog field. Now, those trainers can be very harsh. They can throw stuff at you. I've seen them throw chains at other handlers and that kind of stuff. I've seen them, call them horrible names and that kind of stuff. So it's different in the police world. But when we have customers who are coming to us for help, we want to be careful and walk that line that we're not blaming them for their dog's problems, because that can be the first thought on our mind. Like, well, no wonder your dog acts like an idiot. It's because of this, this, and this. But instead of talking that way, we have to find that balance. Say, they just don't know. They've only been, they're only doing things that have been handed down to them either through their, parents or through previous dogs that they've had, and they just don't know. How do you walk that line, or do you walk that line about not blaming the human being for their dog's problems, but helping them change the relationship between them and their dog?
This is such a juicy question. I really, really love this one because I'm a big proponent of accountability and really being authentic. And I think that, a lot of times that is really difficult to do with empathy and with respect and in a way that motivates, right? But I also really do believe that we don't do any favors of people if we don't show them the truth of what it is that they're doing and the actual big picture impact that it has. So I do walk that line in a sense of, knowing to be careful if I don't have a certain level of intimacy with somebody in particular. I don't have somebody, a relationship with that person just yet where they know, like, and trust that where I'm coming from is a place of true care and concern for them reaching their highest potential. But once I have that, once there is that understanding, which also this ties into so many things. I'm going to try not to get off track here. But, once I know that that's been clarified and I make every effort in my marketing, for example, to have people understand that about me before they meet me, then I don't hold back, because I really do believe that the opportunity to gift them with an insight that is empowering in the long term, even if it hurts a little bit in the moment, is more important than tiptoeing around something because I don't want them to feel guilty that they made some bad decisions. So It's a delicate balance, but I don't think we're going to change a whole lot in dog training or in rescue, especially if we don't tell the truth of what we see. If we don't speak the truth of what we see, where people are blindly operating based on being taught wrong, and that, in fact, they aren't malicious in their, repeating of mistakes, but that they do have power to interrupt their process and to do it better. I think we're just really going to continue to be on a loop that's extremely frustrating and forces more people to, throw good money after unnecessary support and rather than hold them to where they can really create some positive change. And stop the cycle. So I do it with a lot of confidence that, if I'm seeing something, if I know that, if I have insight into someone's process or behavior, and I have information that I believe that could really help them unlock something, I'm going to risk for them. You know what I mean? I'm going to share it. And I might just have to tell them very honestly, just like this. I don't want you to think that I'm coming down on you. This is not about shame or blame, but I really do see where this is representative of a pattern or a process that's really dangerous for you. And here's why, right? Awesome. That's essentially how I do it. Yeah. And trusting the process, that if we're for each other, they're going to get it. They're going to understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah, the honesty part is huge. And that's, I tell people that you're paying me to be honest to you. And we need to sit down. I've actually stopped group training altogether, because group training sometimes takes on a personality of its own. One group of people that we have, it'll be going just fine. Mm-hmm. The dog's supposed to be seeing progress, that kind of stuff. Then the very next training sessions of a completely different group can just go horribly wrong from day to day. And you got to simply just stop the entire group and say, listen, you paid us to be honest with you. Most of you are not doing your homework. Most of you are not following through. Most of you are allowing your dogs to walk all over you. And you have dogs that can't have that responsibility of being leader, and you're giving it to them and they hate you for it. And so sometimes you have to stop and say that we're going to do this. Let me talk to a couple people here that are joining us. We've got Alexandra.
My Santoro. Assistant. Yeah, Allie.
Hi. She
hey,
says,
lady.
Hi, friend. We got Amy Phelps.
Awesome. Another one of my clients. I brought them all, man. I brought you a crowd.
Nice. Look at you. I brought somebody. I know there's somebody here that I know. We got Gina. Gina's with us.
Way to go, ladies. Share out the broadcast. This is awesome that you guys had time to hang out today again after Fix It too. That's great.
Alexandra says, favorite topic right here.
Mm-hmm.
And she likes that topic. Gina at Falco Dog Training Orange County says, can't beat around the bush sometimes.
Mm-mm.
And so, yeah, you can't beat around the bush. At some point, you got to get right to the
I
brass
honestly
tacks.
never do.
Yeah.
Hey, Jody.
I put you solo so I could swat the fly, and I couldn't. I couldn't.
You just want everyone to see your moves. That's all.
I was going to say something, but I can't. Okay, so Alexandra says yes. Edge Lee, is that how you say it? EJ Lee.
EJ. Hey, EJ. Good to see you, lady.
Hi, Cam.
Yeah.
You did bring all the people. AJ White.
Told you. I brought all the good ones.
Look at you. We got a lot of people watching us right now. So,
yeah.
All right, let's go. I want to venture over to the rescue side of things just for a few minutes before we start talking about dog trainers. Okay. And one thing about rescues, and I know that the constant struggle, well, there's two constant struggles, at least that from my point of view, there's probably more, but one of them is that it's a never ending flow of dogs, right? And it just doesn't stop. How is it that you finance it? And I don't need to get into all the the little nuances that you can't share, but how is it possible to constantly be being able to maintain, feed, care for, veterinarian bills, maybe even doctor bills from dogs that kind of get out of control? I mean, what is that? Is that one of the things that just constantly keeps you busy, is trying to fund the ability to take care of all these dogs?
This is also really good. Thank you for asking this, Andy. I love it. I am fiercely committed to running my nonprofit as a business. And I believe that that's rule number one to why it works so well, why it's so strong at its core. I run my nonprofit as I would my corporation, and I think of it the same way. And I think that's a big mistake that a lot of nonprofit rescues make, is that they don't do that. They're coming from a standpoint of having a bleeding heart, wanting to save a lot of dogs. And then in the business side of it is a total afterthought if it comes up at all. Hey, Darla, by the way, I just saw your comment. So rule number one for me is your nonprofit rescue should be run as a business. And if you do that, you recognize the importance of growing a solid team, calling in the right resources for people to do the things that are not your strengths, that you do not have any business being in charge of or handling. And so I have a great team that I've built as a board for my nonprofit. I also have great team involved in the actual handling of dogs. And we're actually meeting tonight at 5:00 for a quick call to just run my opinion and vision and perspective by them about something that's kind of a hot button issue. Because again, I really do believe that it's a team effort. It's something that, I don't know everything. I may not think of everything. And I'm very open to the collaborative aspect of how the company runs. The other piece of it in terms of financing is that when you do that, you're able to represent a certain level of, ethics and responsibility and transparency, super important. And your community then rallies around you and is happy to support you. So we have a great community in terms of fundraising that show up for us and contribute on a regular basis, whether that's literal supplies or straight financial donations. And then we, from a business side of things, we've done something really creative, which is that our nonprofit offers dog boarding, and the boarding fees that we collect are exclusively tax deductible to the customer and go to support the rescue. So if you can imagine how many pet owners are looking for quality boarding solutions for their dog that are not just a facility, but professional trainers who apply structure, rules, boundaries, accountability, who are going to be able to handle heavier duty dogs that might not succeed in a traditional boarding dynamic. It's a highly coveted service and program that we offer. So it's always full, and it means a steady stream of income coming in that supports the rescue needs that we might have. Food, other trainer consultations if we'd like a dog to go out somewhere else, expenses for everything from the crappy stuff like euthanasia to surgeries that you don't plan for. We just had a $5,000 surgery recently on a dog we'd had for less than, I think, a week or something. So we are very, very lucky that, our systems and processes that we've put in place because of that belief that it is a business first and foremost have really set us up for a great deal of success. And we're comfortable. We have a safety net. We try to do things with a great deal of transparency and to have the mechanisms in place, like the boarding, that allow us to have something reliable that will support what it is that we're trying to do. We also operate on a small scale. I keep everything really small. I'm a big advocate of not getting in over your head and having really healthy boundaries. I love to say no. So I don't take every dog sob story that comes to me. It's extremely important that I have respect for the amount of work and burden that this is to my team, that I protect them and advocate for them by having boundaries around the amount of dogs that we handle and work with. We're high in our numbers right now. We have 5 dogs in our organization. So we really keep it small. I don't want these dogs returned. I want them trained like professional, amazing, well-trained rescue dogs to represent their breeds. And I want them out and placed and never back again. And the way to do that is quality over quantity right now.
Wow. You got 2 things there. And I came back on when you talked about the boarding fees, and that's fantastic. And I don't know,
cool, right?
Obviously I don't know rescues that well. Does that happen a lot? Because it just makes total sense. Did you come up with that, or did you steal that from somebody?
No, I think we just trailblazed there a little bit when we thought of that. And it was just a byproduct of already being in business as a training and boarding company. But originally we had our boarding closed to the public. We would only offer it to our established clients. And when I decided that I wanted to have a solid revenue stream for the nonprofit and something creative that we could count on, opening the boarding up to the public made that more possible in terms of the amount of revenue that we could bring in. It didn't have to be limited to our established clients.
Wow. That's outstanding. This is the second time you've knocked me out of my chair onto the ground and had to get back up.
You're welcome.
Shoot. And now I forgot the other one. That one was so good. And now I
okay, it'll come to you. Yeah.
Son of a gun.
We're talking about running it as a business, doing the boarding.
Oh, the power of no. I have a talk that I give at my mastermind retreats that I teach at. One of my sections is the power of no. It is the most important word a business owner should learn, because in the beginning, it's all about yes. You think that you need every customer that comes through the door. You think you need every opportunity. You think you need, but you need is to say no. Yeah. And the only reason I know it so well is because that's who I was.
We've made the mistakes, right?
Yes, I didn't have no in my vocabulary. He's go, hey, can you do this? Of course I can.
Yeah.
I'm a lunatic person. Would you mind if I became one of your long-term pains in the butts and never left you and cost you more money than I give you? Yes, come on over. I had a bunch of those. So the power of no is one of my favorite talks, and I probably only give it because I'm talking to myself.
Right.
In the audience, I should put a mirror along with the people that are watching me give that talk, because I constantly have to remind myself to say no.
Yeah, I appreciate that transparency. I think that's something that a lot of people need to know when they're watching those of us step forward and just be willing to be, to live out loud and kind of put ourselves out there in leadership or whatever, and have seemingly thriving and fantastic businesses. The thing you need to understand is that we all teach what we need to be reminded of most. And so what we're out there touting and working on is really just our life's degree. We're just, willing to risk a little bit more maybe than others, and also experiencing a great deal of reward on account of that. So it is a really important skill to develop. I started out early in my life as a massive people pleaser. I did not always have these skills. And it's one of my favorite things when somebody thinks to ask me about that. It is literally just a skill I chose to develop. Is something that I chose to study about other thought leaders, other change makers, other successful business people, and other healthy people. Like, truly being healthy requires having really good boundaries, and boundaries are all about, no, that's not for me. I can't do that for you today. It's going to compromise the thing that is more important to me or that I need to take care of first. So it's a big one.
You just took a big line out of my talk.
Hey,
that's
sweet.
What you just said.
You can retire now. I'll handle it from here.
If you say yes to something, you have to say no to something else. That's really, really important to remember. Yeah. And so, before I forget, the other thing about the rescues is how do you decide? How do you decide what dog gets to enter your haven? And the ones, and unfortunately, the ones you have to say no to. Where is that line for you, or do you have a line? Is it just, do I have room or not?
My line is developing, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm learning. I learn a lot every time I bring a new dog in. I still learn all the time. Even though I've been doing this work for about 16 years, A lot of being in charge has changed my education. So there's that. But, the decision is made at this stage in the game, and increasingly so based on the community, to be perfectly honest with you, not the dog. And for a very good reason. As you articulated earlier, we take in one dog, there's 10,000 behind it. So there's never going to be an end to the stream ultimately, because this is about broken people and the things that we do and on account of our brokenness. But, I know very concretely now that my responsibility within the realm of rescue is to put dogs out into the community that are reasonably safe and manageable and good representations of their breed. So a dog coming into our program that's going to be made available for adoption has to be a dog that has, some core qualities and is trainable and correctable. They can't have issues with both people and dogs. So dog aggressive, human aggressive dogs, we will not accept into the program, even though on the private training side, we have the skill level to address those behavior issues. It is utterly different when you have a committed owner asking you to help them with behavior modification and lifestyle management strategies, and they're willing to work with that dog and stay the course with that dog long term, than it is when you have that dog go through a program and you're trying to market them to someone new who's really just looking for a fluffy, cute companion that they're going to be able to go, enjoy life with together, and doesn't have respect for the behavior risk and potential that could come forward in that dog. So, we do have certain qualities that we're looking for. Dogs that are, maybe are a special health case we're willing to take on because we have the funding and the support and we understand how to do that. My company is very much about nutrition and educating our clients about nutrition and health overhaul. So those types of things are not a problem for us. But behaviorally speaking, I really believe we owe it to the community to put dogs out there that are going to be, safe and balanceable through the training program, and that, folks are going to be able to keep safe and experience safely in their homes.
Right. It's like fireworks. They have to be safe and sane.
Yes. Yeah.
Hey, yeah. If you like what Cam is sharing, would you just say hell yeah or heck yeah, or give a couple thumbs up or do something? I really would like to hear if you guys are actually listening to us. But I love what you're talking about, what you're saying. It all fits right into it fits into our program, and that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about is that I have this podcast called Train the Dog Trainer. That I do, and we actually had recorded an episode, Cam and I had, and it went horribly wrong technically.
Some
it was loud.
Magnets didn't align right or something.
Yeah, the words were fantastic, but if I don't say so myself, but whatever happened, the technology was at half of it. You could only hear
it was just too good. It was too good. The public couldn't handle it yet. We have to ease them in.
Yeah, they couldn't have handled it. Yeah, we're gonna have to come down. So now what I want to talk about is that I've asked you to be my co-host on the Train the Dog Trainer podcast.
So cool.
And, you seem to be happy about that, which is good.
I love shooting the shit with you, Andy. This is going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. I think we have a lot of really fun things ahead.
I could already tell that we're probably going to have to edit them down because I know that we could talk for a long time on these subjects and go on forever. We could actually break this Facebook Live into a couple sessions probably. Mm-hmm. And so what I want to move into is the trainer aspect of what it is that we want to do both. We've had this discussion that we feel, at least that the feeling I get is that we feel that it's time for us to share some of the most important things that we can about being a successful dog trainer, not only in training the humans and their dogs and in creating relationships of love and respect between the two, but also teaching trainers how to actually make a living at doing something that they love. And I think that's lacking with many trainers. There's some very successful trainers. You got Cesar Millan, you got the others that I can't think of. I just completely blew I can't think of any other dog trainer on my mind right now. But there's a bunch of them out of there. There's some making money. Yeah. Right. But there's many that aren't. They're driving jalopies that can barely get to the park where they're holding their group sessions. And it's because they don't realize that they're experts in their niche and they need to charge as experts. They're charging as if what they're teaching is not valuable. And so we want to do that. What is one of the most important things right now that you can think of on your list that you want to teach another trainer?
I would say so much of it is the personal development piece, and the fact that, when you're an entrepreneur in particular, whether it's this industry or another, your business development is a direct reflection of your own personal growth and development. And so if you're feeling like you have to accept crappy clients because you're afraid you're living in a scarcity space and afraid you're not going to have the money to pay the bills if you say no to somebody. That's a really vicious cycle that will burn you out and cost you a lot of heartache. But it's all about how you view yourself. And it's something that requires you to have support and insight and understanding around your own patterns and process. So the personal development piece of it is enormous, I think. And a lot of trainers just don't understand how impactful their own lack of understanding about themselves is in moving their business forward, in being able to value themselves appropriately, like you said, to put their pricing where it can and should be, to have healthier relationships with colleagues and other partners in the industry, like rescues. Many trainers align themselves with rescues, thinking that's a great way to impact the dog community in general or to have reciprocity in their business. And they end up doing a lot of extra work and not getting compensated. So there's a lot of things like that that are reflective of that internal space. And that's something that I really don't believe you can cut corners on, or you're at risk of leaving the industry thinking it just wasn't for you, or it's not possible to make a good living doing it. And that's a problem because you'll repeat it in another job.
Yeah. Well, you can't do charity work until you're making money. So you have to make your business successful. So then you can do your charity work on the side, and then it becomes tax deductible, and you can be a lot smarter about it, and actually use it even for a marketing from a marketing standpoint, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's many things you can do there.
Really, we get a lot of business that way. Absolutely.
When I was training I have a couple training programs I put together in the past. And so what we would do then is invite all the rescues to bring their dogs to the dog training boot camp that I would have. And so I would be training their staff in a way because they would be there while I'm training dog trainers. So they're getting to listen to me train all the dog trainers while they're being the handlers, for the class. And so I was able to do both, right? I was able to give good information to the volunteers for the rescues at the same time charging the students for being there. Of course, they didn't get all the information, but at least I was able to do a little bit of both. But we got a huge crowd. We had to break the class up into 4 different units because I think we had something like 30 dogs there. Wow, that's great. Thankfully, we would have 2 trainers for each group, so we broke them up, and it worked out really well. So you can do that kind of stuff, but it's hard to do unless you're making money. And
you got to balance it out. You got to balance it out, and you got to trust that if it's meant to be, it will be, and that people will find a way. If it's important to them, if it's a priority, they figure it out. They make it happen. A lot of trainers get stuck listening to these sob stories, whether it's on the private client side or the rescue side of, if you don't help me, the dog's getting put down, and all of a sudden you're wrapped up in a relationship that is really, really toxic and dragging you down and costing you sleep and time and money. It's really, really important to know that you can hold out for that ideal client base, that you can serve in a community and give in ways that are healthy and balanced and allow you to still grow a vibrant company at the same time. We have a lot to talk about in that.
What I've learned is it's not always about the money. As a matter of fact, it's rarely about the money. It's just you got to be I've learned the more I charge, not in an astronomical standpoint, but the more you charge, the busier you get. It's a very strange thing. So you got to get out of that thought that it's all about giving deals and cutting breaks and all that kind of stuff. You got to really hold firm, and then the people will be able to. They have the money. They'll find it. And there's other things that you can do for them. You can just give them. You can send them to a video. And that kind of brings me to the next step. The new technology that we have available to us, the internet and the phones, the new internet, the fantastic cameras, the new internet stuff. You're going to make me crack up and
lose your train of thought. Sorry.
The new technology, as I was saying, the ability to use your phone to be anywhere now. But you're using the new technology, right, to reach your customers.
The internet.
How are you using that?
I'm a big fan of the Googles and the internet. I use them all the time. There is this incredibly expansive world for dog trainers that is still so very untapped. Through our summit interview series and different things that we do, we're starting to pave the way, I think, a little bit and demonstrate another level of how to expand your business and work smarter, not harder. And so I think you and I really want to dive into a lot of these various aspects of what's made our businesses grow and thrive and actually be a lot more fun through the use of more technology and and recognizing the value of that online space and how many more people you can actually help when you harness that and lean in. If you're not really savvy about it, hire somebody. If you need to go through some training, or you need to, align yourself with a buddy and a partner or a mastermind team to help you out, that's what you need to do. Be resourceful and learn to strategize with some of these various things that are available. It's pretty exciting. How much more than just one-to-one handling, 17 dogs a day, your business can actually become, and how much work I think we can accomplish within this community if more people step forward and take advantage of the tools that are out there. It's amazing.
Yep, there's so many things. I mean, you can, the webcast, these Be Lives. I come on every so often and just talk about some dog training issues, about the different types of collars and some of the myths about certain types of collars, and food reward versus correction-based reward systems, or reward-based systems, and operant conditioning, and all the different things, and start talking about. And really, it is so helpful. And I'm talking from the trainer standpoint, that you get out and start putting yourself out there and talking about these things in a way that really it can attract people, and importantly enough, repel people, because you want to repel people that aren't going to be, somebody that you want to have as a customer. And so it's equally as important to repel people. Do not think in any way, shape, or form by being controversial it's a bad thing. It actually is a very powerful thing to understand that aspect of broadcasting, of writing a book, of writing an article, because everybody tries to tiptoe around this whole thing sometimes about whether it's humane or not humane and that kind of stuff. And I can get into a whole discussion about that. But
yeah, I feel like you're like giving away all of our podcasts right now. We have all of these things that are going to be so juicy to get into. I mean, it's really just it's highlighting that personal development side of things, though, right? As you grow, hopefully in your business journey, you start to realize that you're doing this for a specific mission and vision and reason to help the people that need you, that will be helped by you. Everybody else, it's not for them. It's fine. They can fall away. And that really is about having a core confidence and clarity around what it is that you're doing and why you're putting yourself out there. So this is why I constantly like to come back to that personal development side of things, and where a business is so much easier to knock out of the park and to really enjoy and thrive at when you get healthier on the inside here. So I look forward to getting into more of these nuanced details in some of our extended conversations, and really helping trainers to see where they're just not able to ignore that aspect of their development. Learning about technology is really important. Learning about strategy and budgeting, these things are all really important, but really working on you can't cut corners there. And the more you step in and lean in doing that work, the more you're going to really explode your potential and possibilities. It's very expansive.
I would expect. You're very funny. All right. So Gina says that was a topic I have to discuss with my staff, understanding the value of our services, why we charge what we charge. And her staff essentially has been my staff too in the past. And I understand it completely, Gina. I've had this discussion with everybody that's worked for me at some point or another. They go, why do you charge so much more than everybody else? I said, because I charge what an expert would charge. Essentially, an expert charges around $250 to $400, somewhere in there, an hour. For their time. And so once I got that, what happened was I went to the SBA has an organization called SCORE, and they have an office in Santa Ana. And I was struggling with my business about pricing, about why certain customers weren't sticking around as long. I had all these questions about what was going on. And so I discovered SCORE through somebody told me about it. And it's a free service that the SBA, the Small Business Administration, offers to any business owner. You go over there, you get a counselor, and they help you with whatever it is, whatever it's hiring employees or tax issues, accounting, marketing, all these kinds of things. So I went there and said, this is my problem. They handed me over to a guy who ran a motorcycle shop, a medical equipment shop, and like 3 other things that were completely unrelated. One guy he had a bunch of businesses, but he's retired now, and he's at this SCORE. I'm explaining it to you because some people may not know what it is. And you can go there and you get an appointment with these guys that have been in business. They've been there. They're a little bit older now. They're retired, and now they just want to help. And so the thing that he told me is, and of course, being a cop, it really stung me when he told me this, goes, you're whoring yourself out. If you're not charging, if you're not charging what you're worth. What are you worth? What is your experience? And I gave my experience. I showed him my CV and my bio and what I had done and blah, 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 blah. And he goes, nobody with your credentials should be charging, $75 an hour, whatever it was I was charging at the time. Nobody. I said, you need to be charging somewhere in the range of about $200, regardless of what you think of the industry can handle or your market can handle. If you're in Orange County, California, where we are, the marketplace can handle a $250 dog training charge. And I was going, you're crazy. They'll never buy it. So I increased it to $175.
It's such a classic move. I'll go this far, but not fully trust you.
And immediately we began to build our customers. We began to get sold out.
Better customers, I'm sure.
Our quality of customers was much higher. More of them did the homework. Still, we had those that didn't, but more of them did the homework because now they were more invested. And that was the important thing, right? If they're gonna pay that money, they're surely gonna do what it is required to be done because they've paid a lot more money. And that was really the game changer for us, or for me, is realizing that we had to charge more in order to get more out of our customers. And we didn't lose customers with this. The customers that were the ones that were kind of a little bit whiny about the money, they didn't go anywhere. They stuck around.
We figured it out.
But that was about it. They go, okay, I guess that's what we have to pay now. And they stuck around. So
really such an important topic. We're going to be able to get into this, I think, on many different levels in more expanded conversation, because with my coaching clients, it's a constant topic. In the very beginning of our working relationship together is really, giving them permission and helping them to understand how psychologically there is a true impact on your customer base and how they view you and value you according to your pricing. And being too low is not a good thing. So this is really, really good stuff to be sharing. I hope people will take advantage. Really, right. It's a writer downer. Make your notes, people.
Writer downer.
Make your notes. It's a writer downer.
Yeah, for sure. And so I guess I'll have to stop because I keep thinking about more stuff I want to talk about. We're going to do that on our podcast. But what I've done is I put a link in the chat. It's to Dog Park Etiquette. It's a program that I created because I really can't stand dog parks for the most part and haven't for many years. And I don't know how you feel about them, Cam. But I've always... The customers always tell me all the time, should I take my dog to the dog? Well, at least not during our training sessions. Do not take your dog to the dog park. And then I thought there's so many people. We're surrounded by dog parks here. We have like 3 of them just in this general area. And then we have Dog Beach, which is very popular here in Huntington Beach. And so I go, what can I do if they're going to go to the dog park anyway? Because most of them didn't listen to me. They would go and they'd come back and their dog would, have his eye would be swollen because of some injury he got at the dog park. And I said, so what I have to, if they're going to go there anyway, what kind of program can I put together that will help them while they're there? Because what happens is, most people will take the dog to the dog park. They get within the fenced-in area. They take the leash off and they send the dog off and they go fend for yourself, young buck. And they get on. They start texting. Or they start talking to the person next to them. and I said, all right, I'm going to stop all that, at least based on my training program, and say this is an opportunity for you to build a relationship with your dog, and the training starts on the outside of the dog park fence. And so it takes them through what to do when they first arrive, what to do maybe even the first couple of days, not even enter the dog park. And there's steps that I put them through to actually get in there and then evaluate whether it's going to be safe to go inside the fence or not. And then you don't have to go in. Right? You don't have to go in. There's lots of stuff you can do around the dog park that will be very powerful. So that's what the program is about, is videos on how to handle a dog park if you want to go there, and to make it actually an experience that's going to create a better relationship between you and your dog. And so in the description, I put the link. You just click on that. You'll automatically save $5 off of that program. So it'll drop it from $14.99 down to what's minus $5? $9.99.
$9.99. It's fine. He has people who do math for him now. It's fine.
Right. The other reason I want to have Cam on my podcast, because I think she's going to make me sound just a little bit smarter. She talks, and I have to have my phone next to me, and I'm Googling the words. What is expansion?
I also just make stuff up all the time. So careful what you look up. You might not always find the answer you think. I love this comment from Allie. Did you see that? Oh. Cam knocks people out in the best ways regularly.
Oh, nice. How'd I miss that one?
That's great. Thanks, Allie.
Well,
I got you. I'll use all the best words.
The good news about being a cop is I mostly for 21 years dealt with the dumbest people on the planet for many years, and so I seemed very smart at the time.
To up your game now, in contrast. Yeah.
Carla says makes sense. What makes sense? That I have to look up stuff on my phone? I'm sure that was from a little while ago.
No, it was from a little while back, I think. Yeah.
And Jerry Litt. Hey, there's somebody from my side.
I was going to say, I don't know who Jerry is, so you got one, I think.
I got one person watching that I know.
I love it. Way to go, tribe, and all these shares. That's awesome. Thanks, you guys. Fantastic. What a great turnout for middle of the afternoon on Friday.
Laughing at me. Thanks a lot, Gina.
That's very cool. I love the dog park etiquette program idea. I think that's a really cool way. If you know, like, people are going to do it anyway, how to, kind of help cut it off at the pass and give them a different way of thinking about it. You guys should definitely grab that.
It's like handing out condoms at a high school. You
make good choices, but if you don't, here's the backup plan.
Or should I have said needles at a in a crappy neighborhood? I mean, they're going to do it.
Going downhill now.
They're going to do it. Just make it safe.
God, no.
Jerry, your pup is gorgeous. Alexandra commented on Jerry's pup. Very nice. Look at what a great group. One thing about dog training, we have to really talk about this on our podcast. Don't let me forget to talk about this, because dog trainers historically can't stand one another, right? The one thing they always say is one dog trainer, the only thing they can agree on is the other one sucks.
It's a lot of that.
But Cam and Gina and there's a couple others that I know that you guys all hang around each other. Squirrel. Yeah. Gina just said squirrel. You guys hang around each other. You guys get along. You all run your own business. There are billions of dogs out on this planet and as many humans. And there's plenty of room for all of us. One of the things that really needs to change is this dog eat dog world in the dog training business. When we can kind of get together. And that's what I'm hoping to do with this podcast. I know, I live in the real world, so I know that it's on some level, we're not going to change the entire dog training world, but at least locally and around here.
But you know what? Why not try, right? Like, why not try? Why not just assume it could actually work, that it could become so undesirable to be an asshole in the industry that, like, no more do we have that. I actually think that's just a little bit of a reframe that needs to happen in order for us to actually have a chance at creating a different result here. And you're absolutely right. And you know what? We're actually doing a hell of a lot better here in the States than some other parts of the world. I have a plan to be in Australia in September of 2018 and to run a seminar there. And a lot of what I'm hearing from my friends and colleagues over there is it's much more divisive. It's extremely unhealthy in terms of how the community treats one another. And so we really do have an obligation to lean into the challenge, to up the expectations here on how people operate within this industry, and to bring a kinder dynamic to the business side of things as well. So I believe there's room for all of us. I totally agree with you. There is no competition. Some of your clients, I'm not right for them, and vice versa. And I think that the best thing we can do is to help each other to be really healthy, whole, and self-valuating individuals, and to recognize what our individual strengths are and refer to each other. I mean, there's going to be people I can't help that I really need you to work with. And if I understand who you are and what makes you tick and how you work best, then I know exactly who's going to be in alignment to work with you better than me. And
it really has a lousy impact on the customers, right? That they get confused. I mean, just go on YouTube and watch a couple videos, right?
Yeah,
and
it's not helping people.
What am I supposed to, I don't understand. This guy's telling me to do this and this guy's telling me to do that. I had a puppy come to me one time. The dog was like 4 months old. It was a very soft German Shepherd, almost afraid of its own shadow. And the trainer that they had previous to us had this pinch collar on it, which again, I do things with pinch collars. I do Facebook Lives and talk about the use of a pinch collar, when to use it properly for the human being, not for the dog. And here, they said, they said my dog is very aggressive and he's dangerous. So they put this pinch collar on him. And I said, this dog they told you was dangerous, and so it makes things a little bit difficult, right? They're even in that situation, I don't necessarily want to badmouth the trainer. Correct. I want to talk about what we need to do with this dog. And they said, don't come to Andy because of whatever reason. I've been told, and Gina talked to me about this the other day, people say that they've sued me for infringing on trademarks. One guy believed that he invented the leash, apparently, and that somehow I stole the leash idea from him. And then I had a guy in Indiana who threatened to sue me, had his girlfriend write this really long negative statement on something. I don't know if it was on Facebook or on YouTube. It might have been on YouTube because I was talking about on a video about these Dutch boxes, and then I used them and they're fantastic. Well, he claims to be the creator, and then I didn't ask his permission for doing that video. And he's actually well known in the dog world, and spent way more time bad mouthing me about who I was instead of looking at the video and saying, hey, these things are great. Right? I love these things.
Free publicity.
He did not invent them, but he uses them regularly, right? So just take it for what it's worth. I mean, I wasn't saying that I did, and he was mad because I didn't say anything about him. He was pissed.
Yeah, it's a character issue, right? And so, like I said, I think if it, I think this is very true in the rescue side as well as in the business side. But you know, if we really raise the consciousness for what's possible, working in community with each other, and we really just effort to be healthy in ourselves and to therefore take care of and support each other because we're not so threatened and not feeling that we're risking so much if somebody else is doing the same thing we are or, you know, had a great idea before us. You know, we're going to see a completely different result in our ability to truly serve and accomplish what most of us started out doing in the first place, which is we wanted to help people live better with dogs. You know, I think that we need to start to really have a sense that it is shunned and really like it's yucky and culturally not accepted to be that way that you're describing within the industry or the rescue realm. We just aren't going to get very much done if that's our modus operandi around, you know, how we argue and nitpick things like that with each other. I love featuring and connecting and supporting and highlighting people and their skills and abilities. It's one of my favorite things to do. It's something that we do regularly in our closed group Facebook page is to really help other people to step up in leadership and share their own point of view or a skill that they have. And so I'm really hoping that we're going to have the opportunity to really set the stage for that even more through our work together also.
Yeah, this really got the tribe going too. We have a lot of comments about this particular part of our discussion.
My people are talkers.
Yeah, but what I encourage, and even in my Train the Dog Trainer program, which is another online program, I talk about that you need to decide what type of trainer you are, and you'll fit in one of those boxes. That's okay. If you know that you're just simply going to, not simply, it sounds bad, but I don't mean to make it sound bad. But if you want to be a clicker trainer, be the best clicker trainer you possibly can be. If there's a dog that comes in and it's not fit and not right for the clicker trainer, by being in a network of other trainers, you're going to be able to refer that person to somebody that does something that you don't do. If you only want to deal with small dogs that simply just jump on somebody's lap inappropriately or something like that, and that just be that perfect trainer in that niche, right? But don't badmouth me because on occasion I've suggested somebody to use a pinch collar because you have no idea where this dog has been and what he's doing. And these people love that dog, right? They do not want to have this dog euthanized. They do not want to give the dog up. When the dog's in the house, he's perfectly fine. They love the dog, but they want desperately to take that dog for a walk. If she's like Cam, you know, like 80 pounds, and if she, and the dog is 120-pound strong German Shepherd with a hatred for small animals, the only way she may be able to get that dog out of the house is by using a pinch collar properly and trained properly how to use it, and the dog trained in regard to the pinch collar and what it means to get the correction for the pinch collar. If you do that and do it well, now she can finally take that dog for a walk and not have to give it up. But if you are this purely positive trainer person, don't badmouth me because of what. And then the other way around. I don't badmouth anybody that is purely positive because good at you for doing that, and I'm happy for you.
That's and it's really not a thing.
Dang it, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was trying. Did you see me dancing around that I wasn't? Because I have no idea who your people are, and I didn't want to offend them.
My people are not those people. They know better.
Really positive, and I go, well, I'm going to see how far I get before I find the negative.
It's not a real thing. They know that.
Yeah. Did you withhold the food from the dog for a period of time? Yes. Okay. Well, then it's not purely positive. All right. Exactly. So, sorry.
This is a well-educated group of DIY trainers.
See, we just started bad-mouthing other trainers. Stop it. No, just kidding.
We didn't. All we're doing is speaking the truth of science, right?
I love your hair, by the way. I love your hair. I'm going to have to change my branding so that it matches your hair. I got a little bit too red in the lower third there. So I may have to drop that down just a bit. You're going to have
to up your game just a little bit.
Sorry, as Gina said a minute ago, squirrel. Okay.
I love her idea. She said she's going to work on an OC trainer network for quarterly meetups. That's awesome. We're trying to do the same thing in the rescue realm down here. We got
Sally Frost.
Awesome.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I just saw Sally Frost. She says, agreed. I pinch collar work for me. Sally Frost came to me. She is my avatar. She's the perfect customer. Sally already knows this. I tell the story all the time. She's the person whose picture I put on my computer so that everything I wrote, I was looking at her and designing, my Facebook postings,
awesome.
any graphics. I was doing it based on what I thought Sally would be attracted to. And so she's my avatar. She came to me with a Newfoundland, and again, I tell the story. She came to me, her hair was literally messed up because it had dog slobber on it. She had straps on her arms. Her bra strap was sticking out from underneath her tank top.
Beastly big dogs.
She goes, can you help me with my dog? And she too is very small, and her dog was very big. He's not she wasn't the biggest of Newfoundlands. She actually was a small Newfoundland, but at 120 pounds, whatever it was, 80 pounds. And so Sally came. We made some terrific changes, and she's been to probably 5 different pet expos and been used as demonstration.
Way to go, lady! Nice work.
Yeah, and she's fantastic. One of my biggest fans, and I love. She went with me to Super Zoo and was my producer for my TV show at the Super Zoo. I mean, that's how much. That's how branding, or not branding. Yeah, well, branding your persona around a customer that you want to attract. So Sally is the perfect customer that I want to attract.
And niche.
And it worked. So.
Yeah, I love that. I have a lot of clients like that too. They just become staples in the family. We call it a family. And Molly was a rescue. So thank you, Sally, for sticking it out and being committed and doing the work. That's really fantastic, and unfortunately not so common. So thanks for finding a trainer to help you and get the result you needed.
I don't want this discussion to stop. What else can we talk about there?
Well, gosh, so exciting.
Jerry Litt says, discuss how dogs can get sick from other dogs at dog parks.
Yeah, yet another reason that we don't recommend dog parks. You don't know who's there. You don't know if they're vaccinated. You don't know if their, fecals have been tested anytime soon. You can regularly contract all kinds of yummy parasites and kennel cough and things that cost you a fortune. If you have multiple dogs in your home too, and you end up with parasite issues in one dog, it spreads like wildfire, and you get to test and treat your entire pack. It's extremely expensive. So yeah, big time no for that reason, because a lot of people are showing up with dogs carrying stuff and they don't realize it. And they just sharing it around all free, like at a, preschool. Ugh.
Yeah. Another reason to hand out condoms at high school.
Yeah. Dog park risks, big time in the health realm for sure.
So what do you guys think about Cam and I joining team? Is that English that I just used? Joining forces.
I'll fix it later. Collaborating
on the podcast together. I know you guys get tired of hearing my voice, but we're going to collaborate, I believe, on a couple of things. If I have my say. And for
those who don't know, you're going to be one of my featured experts for our upcoming summit launch. Our interview series is launching in February. Yes. And so, you're roping me into all of these things, but don't forget you owe me an interview for the Summit series, which is going to be so great because we're going to dive into a little bit more of your backstory and some of the yummy tie-ins of the personal development piece as well. So get excited, you guys, because we're launching another Summit series. It'll come out the 27th of February. The promo period will be around the 6th for a few weeks. That's when you're going to be able to share it and tell all your friends and family and have them sign up so they get the interviews every day into their inbox. But it is totally free. If you've never been on one of our summits before, it's 2 full weeks of every day into your email inbox, free audio interviews from experts like Andy, talking about, dog training solutions and relationship overhaul stuff to eliminate behavior problems in your dog, to create more freedom and peace of mind in your life. And then that really great tie-in inevitably that we're able to find, where once you understand how to unlock something with your dog that really truly is causing you a lot of struggle, you'll start to see it is related to other aspects of how you do life, whether it's your job, your business, your marriage, your parenting. So it's a yummy, deep process that we take you through, sharing all of these different points of view around that same kind of topic. So the summit is going to happen after the first of the year. Yeah, it's going to
have that on my agenda, and I meant to have that on my agenda. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, right. Sure you didn't.
I swear.
I would love to hear from everybody about podcast topics that they're hoping for, because I think a lot of times we have a vision of what we think is really important to be sharing and talking about. But, now is a great opportunity for you guys to be telling us what you want to hear more of. Sometimes we'll think that we've talked around a topic a million times and nobody will be interested in that anymore. And we could be wrong in that department as well. So feel free to drop in the comments if there are certain things you want to hear on the podcast that are applicable to you, that would be supportive for you in continuing to move yourself forward.
Yes.
Audio for Summit last time. Yeah. Thanks, Allie, for answering that.
One of the things that you brought up that is really interesting, I was just talking to Aldo, who's one of my trainers in Argentina, and he happened to be here for the last couple of weeks, and we were talking about, and we shared stories about how the way that we train dogs is really, I talk about a lot about the relationship, and I talk about how to, how it coincides with raising children, relationships between husbands and wives and boyfriend, girlfriends, and that kind of stuff. And we started talking about that there's been times where we are training, especially in a private environment, and we get in discussions about how to improve the relationships between the humans in the house, or we get into issues involving the humans. One example is this mother who was in a blended family had a dog that liked her and I think the husband, but hated the stepdaughter. And of course, I heard that, and it triggered the red flag right away. And as I got to know her just a little bit more, I then brought in, so how's the relationship between you and your stepdaughter? Oh, we hate each other. And let me get this right. Your dog hates her too? Yes. What do you do when she walks in? Well, I get all tight and tense. Yeah. And I just so I know that the next words out of somebody's mouth is going to be horrible. And then you see the light bulb come on in her head. She goes, oh my God. I did not even realize that. And so there's so much correlation between dog training and human relationships and things like that. And so when you were just talking about that just now, it is a thing. It really is a thing.
I often am doing more marriage counseling than dog training. Or, parenting counseling, or, just general counseling than dog training, because truly I think the dog training is the easy part. And, you'll hear other trainers say that once they start to break down what the issues and dynamics are, that they use to resolve behavior problems, it's not always easy, but it's very simple. And so the work that we find that we have to effort at more is generally that of holding people's hands through realizing the things that they do, how they affect other people, and their ability to change that, but the difficulty in doing so because of our own tendencies of habits and things like that. So yeah, it is absolutely, very much about people training, what we do ultimately, just the vessel, the mechanism being the relationship with the dog. Thanks, Danica. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, Gina spent some time with Aldo when he was here, and had a great conversation about human psychology versus dog training. Yeah, it's huge. And Aldo was sharing that he's had people come to him and say, you know what, since I've been working with you, I'm now better, have a better relationship between my wife and I better have a better relationship between my kids, or they've changed something. And so there's such a correlation. I was just looking, we have 250 people watching. I know that it says only 16 on this thing, but
That's awesome.
What happens is that the Facebook Live gets shared to about 8 other different Facebook pages as we're doing it here. So it's being shared out to a bunch of other places.
So fancy.
Yes, and after it gets done, it actually gets sent to YouTube, and it gets sent to Dropbox and my Google Drive and to Twitter. As soon as we end the broadcast, it gets sent to all those in a recorded fashion too. So there's a lot of people watching. So all of you, and the only reason I bring that up to publicly is that because I want to make sure that you guys that are watching on the other Facebook pages, if you're commenting, there's a chance we're not seeing it because you're commenting on one of the other pages, like the Healthy Dog Network. You may be watching on that page. And so we may not be able to see that because you're actually commenting on a page that we're not broadcasting from. So if you want to comment directly here at Falco Canine Academy, just go to the top, find where it says Falco Canine Academy, click on that, and that'll take you to the Facebook page. But I'm happy you're watching wherever you're watching, and I do go back and watch all the comments or look at the other comments in the other Facebook pages. So, so the Summit Cam, and we talked about dog park etiquette. That link is in there. Click on that. You're going to have $5 off, and you can share that to any of your friends that you want.
$9.99.
Yes, $9.99 because of the $5 coupon. Thank you for that. Thank you very much. because my nose started bleeding the last time I tried to do a little bit of a math equation. If for whatever reason you don't get there through that link and you go to dogparketiquette101.com and you go through there, just use the coupon code CAM0 or CAM5 is the coupon code CAM5 for our friend Cam, because it's $5 off, and she's joining. I'm going to say she's joining Falco Canine Academy, but I don't want to slight Home to K9 or Hope to K9 in any way whatsoever. I don't want you to feel slighted at all. Yes, we're collaborating. Bring the two together.
Yeah.
And I think I asked you if you had anything else, and I completely cut you off. Do you have anything else?
It's fine. You'll pay for that later. No, we're good. I think this is some juicy, yummy stuff, and I'll really look forward to hearing what you come across in the comments from the other streams as well, in case we get some yummy leads on points of focus for our continued conversations over the course of the podcast work. It's going to be really great. Last summit, Jody said, was invaluable. This one will probably be better. Jody, thank you. I love that. It is amazing what's come out of that particular program and opportunity and the free content and how much people have connected with each other and changed each other's lives. I'm really, really excited to launch the next one and to have so much enthusiasm around it beforehand. It's going to be really cool. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. It was just, I'm curious to hear from the community on what we don't know. And then AJ's asking about the, where they can find the podcasts.
You can find it on iHeartRadio. And let me share that link here. You can find it on iTunes. You just go to Andy Falco, Train the Dog Trainer show, and you'll have it there. Let me just see if I can find it fast.
Financial planning for dog trainers, Yoda said.
What's
financial planning. He said topic he was interested in, financial planning for dog trainers. That's a really interesting topic to potentially tackle. And it's a difficult one because there's no like cookie cutter answer for that. I think. So I'll be curious to hear what you think when we tackle that one.
I think that's going to be one of those things where we bring in a guest speaker.
It is unique to the individual and their circumstances, because if you are 19 years old starting a dog training company, I'm going to have a different conversation and counseling session with you than I am somebody who is 45 years old with a family and leaving a prior career and trying to launch a company at that stage in the game. A really, really vast spectrum there on how that coaching or suggestions are going to go. Yes, there's some business basics and foundational stuff that's pretty much the same across the board, but you can take different risks, you can make different connections, you can represent yourself in different ways if you're on one end of the spectrum versus the other. So that's kind of going to be a tough one. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I probably am not going to tackle that one myself. I need help because it involves math. No. Anything that involves numbers, not a fan.
We don't have to do the official numbers, but that brings us to another topic. We need to work on reframing that for you.
Yeah. Well, that's why I have an assistant. She can be very tough. Ask Gina. She can be very tough, but that's what I need because and so, my answer, actually, here's the podcast. Get an assistant.
Right? Yeah. Get an accountant.
No, but we'll do that. I don't want to diminish the question. Because
Yoda's really good at like poking the bear. That's just what he does. So I'm not surprised that question is coming up the way that it is. We'll do whatever we want to do, and you'll like it.
Yes.
That's what's going to happen.
Wow. I'm trying to share the comments, but for some reason the button stopped working some time ago, so it's just not working. But I did share in the chat the iHeartRadio link for the podcast. So you just click on that. That'll take you there to all the episodes. Perfect. Don't listen to the first episode because for whatever reason my mic wasn't working, and it was good enough, so I used it. But the rest of them, the mic's working and whatever. I don't think I must have not changed the batteries or something. Again, that's why I need Cam around. I need Cam and my assistant, and then I can live. I'll remember to feed myself. I'll sound smarter. All that kind of stuff.
There you go.
It's hard to end. It's hard to end this one. I don't want to leave.
Raising the consciousness since 2017. This is great. We got to leave them wanting more.
Okay. Well, all right.
Thank you, Andy.
I'm going to get cammed? Really?
Allie and Gina are debating whether you're going to get cammed or I'm going to get Andied. But I already have cammed you, so I already know that I'm going to come out on top in that department.
Oh, you're saying so many things is going to cause my filter just to completely catch fire. Don't even get me. Don't
Good.
Even
the best co-hosts have a little tension. There's a little.
Oh my gosh. Start with you as a case study. Oh, is that toward the financial? I'm trying to. I think I'm still sharing the comments, and it's not working. So they're not even coming up.
He is suggesting that we start with you or me or whatever as a case study in terms of the business financial planning.
Yoda Dog Training Studio?
Yep.
You do? Wow. I have nobody other than Gina and Sally. Oh, and who else? There was somebody else on there. I forgot who it was. Sorry. Kim was going to get Andy. I'd rather Falco'd than Andy because that sounds so funny. It sounds so wrong. Takes me to a couple other comments. All right.
He's catching up. He's like, oh God, it's going downhill.
All right. Well, good. That was awesome. I really enjoyed that. And we have a lot of people watching. Let me see how many people are on now.
It's Friday, and it's like moving into the holidays. They all want to be just goofing off and done. I think they're not helping us rap. They're really interested in continuing to be in the Friday afternoon vibe. If we just 20 more minutes, we could just call it Yappy Hour, and I'll just get a glass of wine, and we'll just keep on rolling.
Well, I do those too. I do.
Oh God,
I do those.
That's great. Well, thanks so much. I really do appreciate you having me on and being able to, combine our strengths and weaknesses and, really endeavor to reach the community on a deeper level through, that mutually seen deficit and the gaps that are available. It's going to be really fun. It's going to be really fun.
Wow. See all that? I could not have said that. I would have got lost and I would have got tongue tied and I would have passed out with all those words. I'm just going to say everything was freaking good. Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome,
thanks,
dude.
Allie.
Or whatever that is. All right. So, Cam, I'm going to end the broadcast, but don't go anywhere because I'm going to bring you down for just a second so that I can go solo because it is my show after all. I don't want people to think that you've taken over the whole show. All right. Say goodbye, Cam.
Bye, guys.
Say goodbye. All right. Oh, sorry. All right, you guys. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'm really looking forward to teaming up with Cam on a couple podcasts, not a couple, the whole thing, and maybe some other projects. The summit's going to be fun. We have an idea of putting together a dog trainer a conference possibly, or a 3-day workshop or something like that. We were talking about that the other day. And so just stay tuned, make sure and let us know that you like what we're doing. That's the only way we're going to know whether to do these things or not. So you have to let us know. You have to stay engaged. And I appreciate everybody that came over from Cam's tribe and decided to watch. I know people can be protective of their people and their trainers and want to make sure that they're being done right. So make sure and let me know if you are going to continue to work with us also and view what we're doing, because that would be awesome to know that at least I treated Cam fair enough and you enjoyed the time that we spent together. All right, that is it, and I will talk to you later. And let me make it snow before I leave, because that was really cool. I'm going to make it snow, and I'm going to bring on a Santa. I have another Santa frame that I can bring on here. Oh, no, I already had that one. Let's bring on the snowman and Santa. There you go. All right, I want you guys to have all have a great holidays. Have a great Christmas, darn it. All right, I'll see you later. Take care. Bye-bye.